Shalom, shalom. Shalom, lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hayawam tawabla atam za'akyakam yawam man rachagadar Charlotte, which is good day. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham atam kaya. Hamalakwat hashamayim kwara. Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call halayim la la abanawa Yahweh bahasham Yahweh shai bahasham rocha hakwadash. Wamashana laza kwaniyam nawa wamalakim shor rocha gadar, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shai, He delivers. And double honor to those and apostles of Great Millstone. This is Yashaya Isaiah chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 1. And it says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. All right, which this is talking about, present day Babylon. All right, America. All right, and it says the burden. It says the burden, which that word burden is going to touch on. So the word burden is going to touch on the word mash'ah. And it says load, bearing, lifting. It says a carrying. So it's going to go into a carrying, a burying, or a bearing, excuse me, a carrying, which is going to lead to a burying of this place. But a carrying, a bearing, a load, all right. It's going to go into a doom, So, and a prophecy as well, But we'll get Isaiah Yashaya chapter 47 and verse 7. Just to touch on that point of that burden. All right, this is Yashaya Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 7. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. You see, so going back to this burden, you see, because it's a burden over this place, which these people are essentially not, paying attention to. They're not batting an eye at it. All right, which that burden goes into essentially, that this place is going to go down. All right, this place is going to be touched. All right, because people feel as if this place is going to be touched, you see, but that's what's on the forefront for America, Babylon the Great, contrary to popular belief of these so-called Americans. All right, it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And his word is being brought out. All right, his word is being brought out in sincerity and in truth. All right. By the men of Great Millstone, from our elders and apostles on down, and those of likewise doctrine. All right, which it says, lift ye up a banner, which the banner goes back to the scriptures. All right, this is Tahoyam Psalms chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. All right, pretty much going into this truth. All right, the banner is given to the elect, because the elect fear the Lord. All right, which that banner goes into a rallying point. All right, which this truth serves as a rallying point, all right, for the elect, all right. And it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand. All right, when you shaking your hand, you signaling. I'm gonna get this in the NLT, and it says, raise a signal flag. That goes that rallying point on a bare hilltop. Call up an army against Babylon. Wave your hand to encourage them as they march into the palaces of the high and mighty. All right, because this is a spiritual war. This word is essentially reaching the gates of the nobles. I'm gonna keep going. It says that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Let's get this. This is Amos chapter 5, and let's get verse 10. And it says, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. All right, talking about the men of the Lord. All right, and this shows you that this word has reached the gates of the nobles, you see, because the word is being suppressed. All right, so it's showing you that this place is America, Babylon the Great, because the word is being suppressed chiefly in America, Babylon the Great, you see. And where is it that the so-called nobles are the most bothered? All right, America. All right, they have to take down different sites. They have to take down different articles. All right, they have to have the most distractions in America, Babylon the Great, again, because this word is reaching the gates of the nobles. All right, so it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness, which the sanctified ones are the prophets. All right, let's get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 4. Verse 5, it says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. You see, which that this is Yaramiah, Jeremiah, all right, which he was sanctified, all right, to be a prophet. He was ordained to be a prophet unto the nations. All right, you see, but the men of the Lord come in the same steed. All right. We're ordained through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, to bring out his word. All right. And Lord's willing, we endure it until the end. All right. So continuing on, let's go back to Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 3. It says, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Let's get this. This is the Hoyam Psalms chapter 104 and verse 4. It says, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. All right, and I wanted to get that precept because that's the mighty ones that are spoken about in verse 3. All right, those are the angels. So it says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. All right, which that's essentially going into, how the Lord is essentially, gathering. Actually, I'm going to go back to verse 3 because it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. All right, which I want to touch on that as well because this goes into, again, the prophets. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 70 because that's how the Lord speaks. All right, he's not going to come down and, break bread with you. All right, he sends his men. All right, this is Luke 1 and 70. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So that's how the Lord speaks. All right. So, continuing on, let's go back to Isaiah chapter 13, and we'll get verse 4. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. All right, so we'll get Yahweh Allah Joel chapter 3. We'll get verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Yasha'Allah, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Let's go down to verse 14. And it says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Let's get this. This is Tazapanya, Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. And it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. All right, Esau, Edom. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, so the Lord is essentially moving the chess pieces. All right, the chess pieces are being moved. The chess pieces are, the other nations. All right, essentially everybody's teaming up, gathering up, getting their arms, getting their funding, getting their training in. All right, that's what we see, in America. You might see some jets go over, your house. All right, you might hear about, different little tactics and drills. All right, people, the nations doing drills in America's backyard, in the waters and stuff like that. That's essentially because everybody's gearing up for war. All right, the war drums are beating. All right. Back to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 5, it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. All right. Zayaramyah, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 25, and it says, the Lord hath opened up his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts and the land of the Chaldeans. All right, talking about them ICBM missiles. All right, essentially, those are the Lord's weapons, you see. And it was a video that was brought out, and it showed that, they had shot off some missiles, and the angels pretty much, what's the word? They not deflected them. They disarmed them and made them just turn off. Showing you that the Lord is in full control. All right, this is the Lord's movie. This is Yaramyah, Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babal round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. This place is called double rebellion, Maratayam. All right, which Mara goes into bitter or bitterness, and also rebellion, So this place is known as Maratayam, or Babal. It's another name for Babylon. Because this place has, again, the sins of this place have reached into the skies. All right. So let's also get this. This is Second Isaiah, Esdras chapter 16 and verse 13, and it says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Talking about the ICBM missiles. All right, which ICBM goes into intercontinental ballistic missiles. You see, we saw a small example of that with the atomic bomb, which when we seen what happened with, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. You see, but that's going to be, times 1,000, which I'm just throwing a spitball number out there, but like the atomic bomb, it had like a lot of, it had catastrophic, a catastrophic outcome, you see, and it was able to split the atom, you see. So with that, with the progressions from the atomic bomb, they've made progressions to the nuclear bomb, you see. So that's going to have a much more vast effect. All right. So let's continue on in the Isaiah. Zayashaya, this is Isaiah chapter 13, and we'll get verse 6, and it says, "How, yea, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty." All right, which, the Lord, the title Alashadya, is going to be back. The Lord's name, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, will be known. All right, in the world. I'm gonna get that real fast. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 14, and it says, "For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea." All right, so it's going to be known that the Lord, brought this judgment, and I said, I brought out the title Alashadya because the Lord brought crazy judgments, in the ancient world. You see, I'm just pretty much going into that because it's going to be some crazy judgments that happen in this time to come. The Lord, again, the Lord's name, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, will be known. All right, in these times we coming up into. All right, because the Lord is going to bring, all right, that destruction. All right. And it says, verse 7, "Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt." All right, let's get this. This is Yahazak Allah, chapter 7. We'll get verse 17. And it says, "All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water." All right, and that's essentially going to be the spirit of this place. I'm gonna get another one. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 5, and it says, "For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." You see, and what is a woman? The woman is known as, the weaker vessel. Let's get that real fast. All right, this is the word for weaker vessel in 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. And it says weaker. It says weak. It says strengthless, literal, figurative, and morally. All right, without strength, so both literally, figuratively, and morally, men are going to be weak. All right, and women are already weak, so they just going to, they're just going to be, weak themselves, but pretty much it's going into, back to, what was that? Isaiah 13 and verse 7. It says, "Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt." You see, and it says all hands shall be faint. What do you use your hands for? Your hand is your power. Ain't nobody gonna have no power in that day, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that they essentially confide in now, all that false sense of security is not gonna be there. It's gonna be null and void. And it says every man's heart shall melt. Everybody is, the scriptures say, I'm gonna get this real fast. Let's get this. This is Mashal Yah, Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 29. It says, "A wicked man hardeneth his face, but as for the upright, he directeth his way." You see, the upright, we're directing our way, in the Lord. We're entrusting in the Lord. It says, "A wicked man hardeneth his face." Let's get this in the NLT. And it says, "The wicked bluff their way through, but the virtuous think before they act." You see, so going back to Isaiah 13, all right, with that understanding in verse 7, it says, "And every man shall heart," and every man's heart shall melt. You see, So every man's heart shall melt. Pretty much, going back to Proverbs 20, the one the verse that we just got in Proverbs, essentially, people, they had this bold face, hey, like they stone cold killers, they confident, they got that confident look, you see, but their heart ain't gonna have that confidence. They mind ain't gonna have that, what I'm saying, that false sense of confidence in their mind, you see, because right now they understand that they don't have it, you see, but it's that pride, that makes them feel in their mind that, hey, they got it going on. So they bluffing their way through. You see, but all that is going to be revealed, you see, and it's going to be, shown of no effect. All right. Going into this precept right here, this is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right, going into them idols, you see, because everything's a idol in America, Babylon the Great. A lot of people, they worship themselves. All right. And they use that pride in their mind. All right. That pride essentially act as an idol in their mind. It makes them feel as if, hey, they got it going on. But again, when they're met with the different adversities, all right, the Lord puts upon them, all right, that shit is going to melt. It's going to be, again, null and void. All right. Going back to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 7. All right. So it says, and they shall, I'm going to get this too. All right. Because again, all right, it said the hands was going to be feeble, and every man's heart was going to melt. All right. This is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 16. It says, and in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. You see, because again, prophecy is going to happen to America, Babylon the Great. Hey, the bus is going to keep rolling. All right. And this place is going to be in fear. All right. Just like what's illustrated in these verses that we got. All right, let's go back to Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, and they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold on them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames, which I kind of jumped the gun on in Isaiah 19 and 16, but we'll get it again. Back to Isaiah 19 and 16, it says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and they shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. You see, and how are women? Women are the weaker vessel, again, to reiterate. All right. In which, when you look at it on a literal level, all right, what's a good example? America's military. All right. They have women in their military, you see, but then also, again, women being the weaker vessel, the military is weak. It's no longer, how, the scriptures go into that the hammer of the earth, it still has some eminence, in the world, you see, but that's gonna falter in that day. All right. There, and it's beginning to decline. All right. Because again, America was once known as America was once able to, conquer, and essentially go throughout the earth spreading their democracy, you see, but that's starting to falter. All right. So let's go back in Isaiah chapter 13, and we'll give verse 9. It says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. All right. Let's get this. This is Mashal Yah, Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 32. And it says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. You see, so you 2/3, all right, 2/3, all right, will be destroyed. And when you go into that word for prosperity, that word for prosperity is shawwa. All right, and it says quietness, ease, prosperity. It says security, genuine or false. You see, so 2/3 have a false sense of security. You see, so going back to where it says, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. You see, because they're abiding in, all right, a false sense of security, and that them abiding in that's essentially that's going to be their detriment. That's what's going to get them destroyed. You see, because they didn't want to choose the fear of the Lord. All right, going back to Proverbs chapter 1. So it says, the stars of heaven and constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. All right, which that's twofold because that's actually going to happen, you see. But then also the wisdom of this place is no longer going to work like it once did. All right, this is Yah Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 7 says concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? You see, because hey, that 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 jab slip right hand, or no, that jab slip left hand ain't working no more, because where Esau going? He always going to the left. He always going back to that left hand. He always trying to use that deception, but that deception is not going to work for him. You see, he ain't gonna be able to confide, in that sorcery, that witchcraft, and that so-called light that he once had. All right. So continuing on that in that Isaiah, this is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 13 and verse 11, and it says, "And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." All right, I'm gonna get this. This is Second Isaiah Esdras chapter 8. All right, we go on to verse 50, and it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." You see, so when you walk, that's your conversation. Your conversation goes back to your conduct, how you walk and how you're acting. You see, so a lot of people are going to be judged because they have walked in great pride, going back to, how the wicked, they bluff their way through, in their mind, they got a big head. You know what I'm saying? When they say you're big-headed, that's what they talking about, that pride, someone's big-headed. All right. So a lot of people are going to be destroyed for their big-headedness. All right. And it says, and the wicked for their iniquity. All right. The wicked are going to be destroyed. All right. Esau, Edom, two-thirds are attached to Esau, Edom. So they're going to be destroyed right along with him. And it says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. All right. And one reason, I'm saying, that a lot of people have, they're haughty, is because of Esau, Edom, you see. But what does Esau, Edom confide in? All right, this is Yahazak Allah, chapter 28 and verse 2. It says, "Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, behold, thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not a God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel." All right, going back to, the wisdom they feel the wisdom that they feel that they have. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. See, so Esau, Edom, he's big-headed because of what he has obtained, all right, which he got on the left-hand side from the Lord, you see. But then two-thirds, they see this, they take on that mindset of the rulers. So they confide in their money too. But that fiat currency ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? That position that Esau got, that was temporary, so that position that two-thirds feel as if they had, because they only getting crumbs, you see, but that position they feel as if they have, that's temporary as well, you see. So going back, that goes back into, the haughtiness of Esau, all right, and two-thirds, that's going to be laid low. That arrogancy is going to cease, all right. So going to verse 12, it says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." All right, this is talking about the elect man. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 2. It says, "And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land." All right, which that wind is talking about the destruction. It says, "In a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place." All right, men are going to be a source of life, a source and order, a source of salvation. All right, because Isaiah 4 and 1. All right, the elect man, all right, is going to have the multiple women. All right, essentially, and men, women, and children too. That essentially are going to be under them as well. You see, but essentially, in order again, they're going to be a source, to a direct link to the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right, it's going to be protection. And it says, "As the shadow of a great rock in a weary land," and a shadow, all right, goes into protection as well, you see. right here, shadow, Tazal, and it says shade as protection. You see, a defense. All right, back to Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 13. And it says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. You see, so this place essentially is going to be, as that chase roe. Esau Edom is going to be as that chase roe. And it says as a sheep that no man taketh up. You see, and people are going to be reverse migrating, which reverse migration goes into, migration goes into somewhere you move. All right, you see, but reverse migration is going to be going back to where you came from after staying somewhere for a long period of time. You see, because people are going to be like, yeah, they ain't gonna want no more of this shit in America, Babylon, the Great. I'm gonna get this. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 16, and it says, cut off from Babylon and him that cut off the sword from Babylon and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. All right, going again to that reverse migration. Let's get this. This is Ayawab, Job, chapter 20 and verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. You see, so when Esau is getting his NWO in effect, you see, when he's about to be satiated, the Lord is going to destroy him. You see, the Lord going to catch him slipping. It says every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. You see, so Esau is going to be like that chase roe. So going back, this is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 15. And it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. All right, so those that are joined to Esau, the lifestyles of America, Babylon the Great, are they going to be thrust through? They're going to be, they're going to fall by the sword. All right, whether that be by the ICBM nuclear missiles, you see, or whether that be by being zapped by Yahweh Shai, all right, via the chariots, when he comes with the multitude of the chariots, all right, with the angels. And it says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. All right, let's get this. This is 2nd Isaiah, Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 12. And it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. You see, the Lord is essentially going to touch this place. All right, he's going to smite Egypt. The Lord smote Egypt, with the plagues. All right, before in ancient Egypt. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. And it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You see, so pretty much going back into verse 16 in Isaiah 13 and 16. All right, essentially going into the time period, again, of Jacob's trouble. All right, again, going into the time where the Lord is touching this place. All right, because present day Egypt, has to reap of that or receive of that judgment. You see, because again, this place's sins have reached into the skies. All right, so continuing on, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right, which the Medes is essentially talking about Ra'ashar, Russia. All right, Ra'ash, which is chief, Shar, prince, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, roughly paraphrasing. But Ra'ashar goes into Russia. You see, because they're taking they're living in those lands, all right, that the Medes were in a certain period of time. You see, but they're not gonna, mind or care about, any type of money or anything. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them to essentially, destroy this place. All right. So continuing on, it says, "And Babylon, Babal, the glory of kingdoms and the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom wa Amorah." All right, with Saddam and Sodom, Amorah is Gomorrah. And it says, "In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms and the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency," because, essentially they take on the way of ancient Babylon, the ancient Chaldeans. All right, let's get this. This is Nahum Nahum chapter 3 and verse 4, and it says, "Because of the multitude because of the multitude of the whoredoms, the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that setteth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts." And this place essentially again takes on the ways of the ancient Chaldeans, the ancient Babylonians, you see, and they really confided in that witchcraft. That's why it says the excellency of the Chaldees. Hold on. It says the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. You see, because again, they take on the ways of Babylon. I'm gonna get this in the NLT. It says Babylon, the most glorious of kingdoms. This place was a conglomerate of ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, Assyria, all right, so on and so forth. It says the flower of Chaldean pride. All right, let's go up. It says CSB. It says the glory of the pride of the Chaldeans, and they took pride, all right, in that the sorcery. You see, ESV. "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the splendor and pomp of the Chaldeans." That pomp is something that puts you up, and what put America, Babylon the Great up, all right, was the sorcery, that they confided in. You see, that's how they was able to deceive the nations. All right. So continuing on, it says, "It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there." All right, because right now, the nations come here for to make money, you see, but ain't nobody going to be coming here to make money no more. All right, it's not going to be how, it once was. Moab, the Arabians, Ham. The other nations not going to be coming over here to benefit from this place. Going back up to, all right, the earlier verses that we got, everybody's going to be trying to get away from this place. All right. So continuing on, finishing out, it says, "But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged." All right, let's get this. This is Ayawab. It's Ayawab. This is Job chapter 14 and verse 5, and it says, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass." All right, so going back to Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 13, in the last verse, it says, in the latter, it says, "And her days shall not be prolonged." Hey, so this place has an expiration date. All right, it has a certain period of time to where it's going to be cut off. No more, no less. All right, the Lord has a specific day that this place is going to go out. You see, so Shana again. All right, Anachnawa. We went through Isaiah 13. All right, Adawam Tazaza Banayapa, Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification to the spirit. Wa Adawam Tazah Adam Yashi Awam Tawab, a Lord's will. You have a good day. Wa Yalak Tahaya Gadar, which is